welcome to my bathroom. So sorry about the echoey voices. That's going to be a bit of a problem. I am aching to dye my hair again. At the end of last year, I did a whole lot of stuff to my hair. I went blonde, which may have been a cool idea. You be the judge. I mean, I liked it. I didn't not like it. I just didn't really feel like myself. You know what I mean? Since then, because it was bleached, anything I've put over top of it has lightened up super fast. And so now I've got this weird kind of dark honey color thing, which is not my hair color. Look at this. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's not what I'm going for right now, okay? However, the entire country is grounded right now. The Prime Minister, the other day gave us all a talking to and a lecture, and no one can leave their homes. So we're stuck at home. And I'm forced to use whatever I've already got. What I have left over in my hair dye stash is more blonde. Nope. A dark red. And what is literally called darkest brown. I mean, it looks beautiful. She's beautiful. But darkest brown is not really what I'm going for. I am pretty sure this is just going to turn out black on my head. But you know what? Who gives a damn? No blonde for me. No thank you. No honey brown for me either. No thank you. I am a dark, sweet lady. Yeah. I've already lined my bathroom with newspaper. I have my hair dyeing t-shirt on, as you can probably tell by the bleach marks. Can you guess what this t-shirt is? It's an MCR t-shirt. Welcome to the Black Parade. All right, time to go. Business in the front, party in the back. That's gonna be dark. Sorry about all the crinkling and the newspaper crinkling and the echoes. That's the bathroom for you. Yes. This is gonna be so dark. Right, so how are you? How are things? Let me know how you've been down in the comments. What's up? What's new? What are your latest interests and hobbies and things? I guess since I last saw you, it was probably around Christmas time, I think, and it's end of March now, so ooh, that's a long time. Yeah, I've been doing pretty well. I think I've been very introspective. I think I've been doing a lot of self-reflection, meditation, and just kind of going inward and thinking about myself and who I am, and the whole kind of bigger picture, trying to see myself within the whole grand scheme of things. And I think something I discovered, probably the most important thing I discovered in the past couple months, well, more than that, was I think I have a tendency to, I think a lot of people do, put a time limit on myself, where I sort of say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and things are gonna be this way for a year, and then by the end of this year, that's it. There's time's up. I have to make my mind up about blah 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 blah. When I was planning to move here to the UK, I had told myself I was gonna do 2 years. I was going to give myself 2 years, and by the end of 2 years, I should probably have my mind made up, and have an idea of where I wanted to be. You know, if I really, really knew, okay, no, it's not working for me, I need to go back to Canada, or, you know, I found a whole new life, whatever, here in England, then, you know, by the end of 2 years, I should probably know. Who said 2 years? No one told me I had a time limit. No one put that limit on me except for myself. And I found that was really, well, it just served no purpose. It doesn't allow you to live in the moment because it seems like you're always working towards making a decision rather than just, you start putting different judgments on your experiences rather than just experiencing them. Do you know what I mean? So eventually I just had to kind of take my own advice that I had given to other people before, and that is, there's no time limit. So basically what I had to do was just suddenly be very, very kind to myself and be very generous and say, look, you don't owe it to anybody to make your mind up right now. No, literally no one but you is going by this time limit. If you're not ready to go, or if you're not ready to make your mind up, then you're not ready to make your mind up. I found that I was really having a hard time just enjoying being here. You know, it seemed like, oh God, I need to rush to do everything right now, because I've only got, you know, well, you know, my time's up. Okay, we're starting over. I just went on this big long ramble sesh of like all of my inner thoughts and weird things. We got a little deep there. Let's start again. Right, so what have I been doing? I've been working. I've been really, really into fashion lately. I've been experimenting with my fashion and my style. For the umpteenth time, I've waltzed into the world of 60s, 70s, hippie, psychedelic, whatever, not psychedelics, but psychedelic patterns and fashion. And I'm really, really digging it. I think what needed to happen was I was never quite brave enough to really wear the fashions and really try them out. I've always played it really, really safe, or at least I feel like I've always played it really safe when it comes to fashion and my clothes and things. So in high school, I had a little period of time where I was just super into Led Zeppelin, Jefferson Airplane, the Beatles. Obviously, the Beatles are... I've said this so many times in my life. If it was possible for music to be somehow imbued in one's DNA, then the Beatles' music would be part of my DNA. I'm certain of it. Like, I've been listening to the Beatles since before I was born, that's for sure. In my dad's car, he had just a couple of tape cassettes, audio cassettes, and I think he had like Supertramp or something, maybe, but what I remember the most were the Canadian releases, like the Canadian versions of Please Please Me, and I guess with the Beatles. So Please Please Me in Canada was actually called Twist and Shout, and there were some songs missing, replaced with other ones.
Editing Jenny here, so it seems that the Canadian releases had From Me to You and She Loves You instead of I Saw Her Standing There and Misery, which explains why I went a big chunk of my life without ever hearing Misery. Go figure.
and probably the first music I heard was the Beatles. I mean, they're always on my music playlists. Music playlists. On my music playlists. My favorite is George. I think he was actually my favorite before I knew he was my favorite. Bear with me, I'll explain this a bit. So when I was like 7, maybe? 6, probably 6 and 7. That's when I learned how to operate cassette tapes. And I had my own one in my room. And there were a few songs of the Beatles that I would play, and I would put my head right up against the speaker to just sort of surround and fill my whole body with the sounds of the voices, the everything, the voice mostly. And I think I realized, I didn't know it at the time, but I realized that those songs were George songs, George-led songs. They were Chains and Do You Want to Know a Secret? So before I knew the difference between them, my favorite definitely was George. For sure. My mum, having been a young teenage girl in the 60s, she would have been the Beatlemania fangirl. Maybe not the screaming sort, but she she told me that when A Hard Day's Night came out, 1964, those were the days where you could go to the cinema and watch a movie and then stay there and watch the whole movie all over again. And she reckons that she and her friends saw the film 7 times in the cinemas. Enough that they could quote the entire thing. And they would do that sort of at their like lunch breaks, I guess, or wherever it was, just hanging out. They would just quote the entire film, which, I mean, it must be in our genes, because so my mom being the like OG fangirl, and then me from a sort of next generation of fangirl. I'm a huge fangirl. I may or may not be obsessive level. You judge that call. And I've never been shy about that. See, I don't ever understand how you can make fun of someone for the amount that they enjoy something. You know, people have hobbies and interests and quote unquote obsessions, if you will. I've never ever understood how or why you would want to make fun of someone for liking something. I don't get it. I've always been somebody who, when I'm interested in something, I just immerse myself in it completely. And I think that's wonderful. I love when people do that. I love when people are enthusiastic about stuff. Enough that, right now, I'm not just revisiting all this sort of 60s and 70s stuff, movies and music. I'm dressing like it too, I guess maybe I'm still a bit teen-ish in that kind of way. It seems like it's a very sort of teenager-y type of thing to sort of have different passions. It's passions. That's the thing. If you're a passionate person, when it comes to identity, I think people's identities are always changing, right? You're not going to be just one type of person your entire life, right? I think it's unfair to expect someone to go through their whole life without changing. I think I'm revisiting parts of myself that have always been part of me. And for whatever reason, I've covered these things up, or I've completely silenced them, or felt the need to sort of hide them away at different times in my life, but they've always been a part of me. you know? I've always been a bit of a hippie, really always have been. I think it really helps that I'm single right now. I needed to try and figure out who I was without any relation to anyone else. Do you see what I mean? But I'm learning stuff about myself, and I'm not making any judgments about myself. That's the big one, is you just let yourself be. Let your mind wander. Let your passions thrive. Just go for it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It really doesn't matter how old you are, what you're doing, where you are in life. Just let yourself love stuff, you know? Let yourself become crazy about something. Anyway, I am rambling so much. I'm going to cut so much of this out because I'm just going blah, 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 blah. So YouTube, eh? Yeah. I've been watching a lot of YouTube in recent months. I've been watching so much Sims, so many Sims videos. Plumbella is hysterical. Jessie McNamara. She is so damn funny, and her videos are so good. And did you know they have the entirety of the Monkeys series show on YouTube? Because they do. I used to watch that show when I was probably like 11, and I used to come home from school fairly early, not cutting school, but the school day would end fairly early. And I remember that it would play on some strange, where I lived in Ontario, in Ottawa, we would get like broadcasts of American TV stations, TV networks, and there was one that would play these shows from the 60s, like Petticoat Junction and the Lawrence Welk show and the Monkeys and the Hillbillies and just so much. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. What would be on when I got home from school would be the Monkeys. And so I used to watch the Monkeys without knowing much about anything to do with them. I knew their like big deal songs like Daydream Believer and Hey Hey with Monkeys. But yeah, I just remember this period of time where I was watching this show, and so I would have been, how old would I have been? Yeah, 11. And at that time I was just coming out of my tomboy phase. My tomboy days, let's say. And I used to wear a toque all the time. For my non-Canadian viewers, toque being a woolly hat. Do you know where I'm going with this? When I saw Mike Nesmith of the Monkees with his little green toque, oh my word, my little 11-year-old self, I just fell in love. Yeah, he was my favorite. It was a damn funny show, you guys. I was never really into like slapstick or anything like that, but just somehow they were silly without being stupid. Do you know what I mean? They were silly, they weren't gross, they weren't idiotic. You know, a lot of the humor in it is quite clever, witty. Anyway, it's a great show, and at a time like this, when we're all kind of panicking and stressed out, and, you know, we should just be chilling out and resting, and watch the Monkees. It's great. It's really good. That's what I've been doing. Oh, my garden! Yeah! So I've been in my garden because I live in England. I'm not in Canada. And so I don't have snow in the way. No, I'm not laughing at you. I've experienced snow. I know. But yeah, so here, we don't have any snow. But it means I've been able to get out into my garden, because I have a garden, you guys. It's a garden. It's a real garden. Yeah, there's some good things going on in my garden. Very, very slowly things are coming together. I think I want to paint my shed. It's a very run-down shed over there that could use a little bit of love. I'm trying to fill in gaps. There's a lot of gaps because I'm basically starting from scratch. Like my garden was like, there's nothing in it. So I'm waiting for some shrubs to get a little bigger. Shrubs that I planted last summer that, you know, maybe they're settling in to create some shapes. I freaking love gardening, man. And I love it, and I'm having a really good time, and I'm generally just trying to just live in the now. Trying to live day by day. And so I'm trying not to put any kind of limitations on myself. So that opens me up to taking my time with things, enjoying things as they come, enjoying things as much as I want to. I mentioned fashion and clothes and how I was never really brave enough to dress up, I guess. I think there was a weird thing that I never really felt good enough about myself to try to look good. I never felt like I was cool enough or good enough to get away with it. I think that's what we're coming to. Oh, we're getting deep. Okay, well, I'm gonna let myself process. Can you find me a sort of 60s, 70s it girl who is not blonde? Because I mean, you've got Patty Boyd, you've got Sharon Tate, Bridget Bardot, Pamela DeBar. Where were all the brunettes at this time? Come on, send them my way. I can think of Cher with the long black hair, and that's about it. And I don't mean Audrey Hepburn either. I mean like your sort of hippie, kind of groovy, yeah. Let me know of some. I'm gonna go look some up as well and see if I can find any. But yeah, okay. See you in a bit.
My dark, sweet lady.
So what do we think? It still looks really, really, really dark on camera, but it's like just above black. Okay, just a little bit above black. I don't hate it. I like it a lot. I've definitely gone for this sort of very 70s swoof feathered thing. The haircut that I have right now lends itself very well to a sort of 70s floof like this, a kind of a Farrah Fawcett-esque thing. I like it. Hey! It's a lot darker than I intend it to be, but it's a good place to start. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming along this little journey with me. I apologize if I rambled a little too much. But you know what happens when you're not making videos regularly? You really, you fall out of the groove, you know? You just can't quite get it back together. So, apologies. But as I'm going to be indoors, like most of the rest of us are, for the foreseeable future, then what else am I going to do but make some videos? So I might make one this afternoon for you. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. As always, take excellent care of yourselves, especially now. Be kind to yourself, be patient, be extra kind to everyone around you, be extra patient, stay groovy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.